Tonight, an orgy of arson and the massive effort to fight the flames.
Tonight, the Detroit drug sting connection to the Lockerbie crash.
Tonight, Chrysler makes a deal with the UAW.
News 4 Nightbeat with Mort Grimm and Carmen Harlan, Bernie Smilovitz and Chuck Gaediger.
Flames light up Detroit's skyline tonight. The devils are out, and so are firefighters and police. The city's best-laid plans have been put to the test as officials try to maintain calm on one of the scariest nights of the year, Devil's Night. Good evening. The mayor mobilized an army of volunteers to stop Devil's Night fires. He even changed the name from Devil's Night to My Heart is with Detroit. Did it work? Well, there are conflicting reports tonight. One fire official says tonight's arson fires are the worst since 1984. But in many parts of Detroit, the people appear to be winning. It's calm. In pockets of Detroit, of course, the arsonists appear to be winning. Now, these pictures we're showing you are just in to us from the east side, hardly what you'd see on a typical night in Detroit. Of course, it may be morning before we know if the people truly have reclaimed the city from Devil's Night, but our reporters on the scene have gotten a sense of what's happening in the areas hardest hit. Typically, the east side, which we just showed you, is one of the busiest areas on Devil's Night. And again this year, firefighters there have been busy for hours. Our coverage begins with Mike Windland, following firefighters on the east side. Mike, how busy has it been out there?
Well, Mort, I can't tell you how it has been throughout the city, but I can tell you that here on the east side, veteran police and veteran fire officials say it has not been this bad on a Devil's Night in years. The top fire official in Detroit working tonight told me at the scene of a fire a little while ago that he hasn't seen it as bad since 1984. It has been a busy night, fire officials coming and going here in the east side, and the night's going to be a long one yet. This has been a night of sirens and flashing lights. The haze of smoke hung over many east side neighborhoods since sundown, and it seemed at times that an orange glow could be seen in any direction. This house on Phillip was one of many destroyed.
The thing is, it hurts. It's us. I don't care what other people say or what other people do about our town. It's us. This is our property. This is our home. We're only doing it to ourselves, and we got to quit hitting ourselves over the head and making these type of stupid incidents so bad.
It's a disgrace how these people burn down these people's house. You have to have some place to live. It's pitiful. We got to start doing something about it now.
Like many of the fires tonight, this one, a vacant house on East Lawn Street, was discovered by a passing citizen patrol. They notified police, police verified it, and police in turn called the fire department. They're waiting now for the fire department to arrive.
We just saw a flame through the side of the window there.
How long have you lived in this house?
About 30 years.
I was the first one down here. I called it in with CD Patrol. It took at least 15 minutes for the fire department to get down here. And this man's house was burning down. We went up on the roof to try to hose it off, and the police are telling us to get off the roof, get off the roof. And this guy's house is burning down.
Sir, is that what happened? Did the fire department take that long to get here?
Oh, I didn't time anybody. I didn't time anybody.
Because my friend,
Seemed like a while. Seemed like a while.
But they were telling us to get off the roof. They told us, get off the roof, get off the roof.
everybody back up. Back up.
Here we go. Let's do it right here now.
No pressure.
It was a sad but common story, fire spreading from one dwelling to another. 3 houses in a row burned on Helen Street. Linda Manns lived in one of them. What do you say to the kids that did this?
Yep. They need to be put in jail, whatever, because my house is good as gone as hers. They need to be put in jail.
Now, 2 areas on the east side are particularly hard hit tonight. The Chalmers area around Kercheval and the neighborhoods just west of Van Dyke near Harper. Both areas particularly hard hit, fire after fire, run after run. This staging area very busy. One point tonight, Mort, we heard 9 structure fires dispatched in a 2-minute period on the east side.
Mike, I'm just wondering how visible those neighborhood watch groups have been tonight, those volunteers, and do you think they've helped keep down the number of fires at all?
No doubt about it. They have been on every neighborhood, in every alley, everywhere we've seen the little blinking yellow lights. Fire officials tell me that if it wasn't for them, it would be much worse, and it already is as bad as it's been in years.
All right, thank you, Mike. The weather certainly may have played a role in the number of fires tonight. Back in 1984, we checked our records. It was relatively warm with temperatures in the mid-50s, a good night for being outside. Last year, it was much colder on Devil's Night. But again, this year, it's been a warm night with temperatures hovering around 60 degrees. And at 8 to 9 tonight, the official observation at City Airport was, and this is unusual, visibility 6 miles in smoke. Carmen?
As we've seen, parts of Detroit's east side have been hit hard by fires tonight, and that's also true of the west side. Firefighters there have been racing to and from fires for hours. Several homes and one warehouse have burned. News 4's Chris Hansen has been following the action on the city's west side, and he joins us now live with more. Chris?
Carmen, behind me you can see the fire station on Junction on Detroit's southwest side, and it has been probably the busiest fire station on the entire west side. Now, the majority of fires here have been brush fires, dumpster fires, garage fires, and blazes in vacant buildings. Nevertheless, some people have been left homeless.
Come on out of here, okay?
Kentucky, near Puritan. It started as a garage fire. Witnesses say they saw 2 8-year-old boys running away as it began. Soon, flames spread to 3 houses. Elmo Clark owns one of them.
You live in one of the houses that's on fire
I live in that house right there.
Where do you go from here? We don't know.
Johnny Gardner also watched as his home went up and reflected on the stupidity of a night in Detroit that belongs to devils.
It's ignorant on my behalf because things like that, it's unnecessary. They don't do it 12 months out the year, so why do it one particular week?
As firefighters struggled to control the blaze, Congressman John Conyers arrived. He was touring the city with police.
It's turning it off right away. Oh, yeah. As soon as he puts it on there, that's more than water.
The fire and frustration was seen all over the west side. Here on Calvary, a vacant home burned and threatened the one next door.
I've been trying for 5 years to get that thing down.
And they haven't torn it down?
No, I got a letter in there I just got the other day.
This is the letter Edna got from the city just a few months ago. It says that this building is secured and didn't have to be torn down. Well, apparently it wasn't secure enough. Even industrial buildings weren't safe. This warehouse on Stair suffered extensive damage. Arson investigators are trying to find out how it spread so quickly. Now, if I had to estimate, I would say probably on the west side alone, there have been so far tonight well over 100 fire runs, and that counts the runs that were responded to by police officers who were able to put out the smaller fires with fire extinguishers. We probably won't get a firm total until sometime tomorrow morning. Carmen?
All right, thank you, Chris, for that report. Now, you can help fight the fires in Detroit tonight. If you see someone starting a fire, you can call a special arson hotline. The number is 96-ARSON. That's 962-7766. Rewards of up to $1,500 are offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of anyone setting a fire.
At this hour, a curfew remains in effect. If you live in Detroit or Highland Park and you're under the age of 18, you should be at home right now. Certainly be off the streets. Otherwise, you could be breaking the law. The curfew began at 6 o'clock tonight. It runs until 6 in the morning. And it'll be repeated again tomorrow night, Halloween. Any unaccompanied minor found on the streets during those hours will be arrested. The curfew is an effort by police in Detroit and Highland Park to keep the 3 days around Halloween violence-free. It's definitely keeping police busy. Last night, more than 150 young people were arrested. For an update on what's been happening tonight, News 4's Emery King is standing by at police headquarters in downtown Detroit. Emery, how's it going now?
Well, pretty well, Mort. This is the command center down here at 1300 Beaubien at police headquarters, and city officials and police officials were upbeat about developments this evening, talking of the tremendous volunteer force in and around the city helping police to curb the situation. The only numbers coming in here this evening, though, had to do with curfew violations. As of 10 o'clock tonight, 76 curfew arrests had been made compared with 116 a year ago at 10 o'clock. And last night, of course, as you mentioned, 150. The official number tonight down here is 141 arrests last night compared with 160 last year. All in all, a very tense night down here at the command center. It was almost as if police were running a taxi service. They started arriving early this evening and kept coming in. Curfew violators, as young as 10 years old, most with an excuse.
Hey man, they treat me like a prisoner. They put us in shackles, back of the truck.
Well, it is the law. What were you expecting? Maybe better treatment than that, or what?
Yeah, they said a night in jail. I figured a night in jail.
But several parents weren't listening to excuses tonight. This unidentified youngster told his dad it was the police officer's fault he stayed out.
They stopped us at 5 minutes to 6 and talked to us until a minute after 6. Then they said, well, it's time now.
You don't buy that, Dad?
No, he wasn't supposed to be out of the house. He knows it.
And this was the scene at the police command center tonight. 24 police and civilian personnel monitored a task force spread out around the city. Water and Sewer Director Charles Williams and other city officials answered reporters' questions, but gave no definitive figures on the numbers of fires as they attempted to put the best face on the evening.
We have about 35,000 people on the street. Again, it's another indication of the new spirit that people have in protecting their city. It's our city.
As police worked upstairs, these youngsters sat in a gymnasium below, waiting for their parents or guardians to arrive, most of them vowing to stay in tomorrow night. Mayor Coleman Young did not make an appearance here at police headquarters tonight, as I am told he has done in some past years. He was monitoring the situation closely, according to Mr. Williams, who said that he was just a phone call away. And so, the command center remains in effect and working throughout the night. Mort?
Obviously, Emery, they're going to be tabulating these fires all night. When do they expect to have an official figure to release to the press?
That won't come until Thursday or Friday when the mayor holds a news conference and they have a chance to separate the trash fires and some of the minor fires from the real thing.
All right. Thank you, Emery, for that report. When the night beat continues, the other side of the coin, the neighborhoods that were not torched by the torch.
And the people that have taken matters into their own hands, armed with CBs, flashlights, and a will to keep trouble out. Plus a stunning link between a Detroit man and a drug sting operation and the crash of Pan Am Flight 103.
I'm Paul Long at Weather Watch 4. Gorgeous weather today. Looks like gorgeous weather throughout the week. I'll have the details ahead.